Hey, welcome to Tips on Using Blues Puzzle. This is number 2 video. Keep it simple. Quick recap. All right, we discussed on lick A1, keeping that note pattern or where and when the notes are to be played. This is very important, and you're going to hear me repeat it again and again, because once we know where and when to play the notes, it's going to start developing our ears to also which pitches to use. So it's a crucial part. All right, the other thing we did with A1, we played it frontwards and backwards, again holding the note placement. Then we started moving those notes around, again at this time holding the note placement. All right, now for this video we're going to be using breakout number 3. All right, put it in the same sequence we go through. We're going to listen to it, we're going to look at it, we're going to sing it, count it, swing it. Okay, then we're going to play it, and then we're going to place it, and then we're going to tear it apart a little bit. Okay, we're going to use the same process, and then we're going to use another tool, or maybe 2 other tools, or 3. Okay, just so you hear what it sounds like. And on this video, I have the actual backing track that you're using. Okay, and again, simple and slow. It's very important. Now with the A3 lick, by the way, just a quick update here. There's a rest, or for those that don't read music, the first beat, there's nothing to play. So it's rest, and then there's a couple of notes. Listen to what it sounds like. With the backing track, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, rest. Okay, do you feel it's a little different feel? Because if we listen to A1 with this, listen to what A1 sounds like. In 4. Now A3, rest. Okay? So, what can we do with A3? That's right. We can reverse, leaving the note placement where it is, but we can reverse the notes. So let's see what this sounds like. All right, and again, remember, note placement, it's rest, bop, 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 bop. Remember your bops, man, real important. Okay, now listen to what happens when we play it the opposite way. 2 and 3, get that count going. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and rest. Rest. Okay, that's what it's like backwards. Now that we did that, so we already know that we can mesh these 2 licks together. If you want, and this is something you could do on your own, let me just hold the 2 licks up. Again, this is something that both of the licks have what we call 4 notes, or 4 times you're going to hit a note. In A1 has 4 times, and A3 has 4 times. So what you can do is take the notes from A1 and put them onto A3. In other words, you're basically changing the notes, but it's something that if you're having trouble moving the notes around or placing them, okay, you can use, the A1 lick. Okay, I'll give you a quick listen to what that sounds like. Let's get this thing going. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to play A1. Now listen to it with the A3. 1 and 2. Now I'm going to use the A1 notes in lick A3 for 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, and 4. Now again, listen to A3 for 1, rest, A1. Okay, you hear how that it just changes. And all I did is I used the exact same notes in A1 and I used them in the note placement or where and when in A3. So where and when those notes were being played, all I did was substitute the A1. And as you'll see when you try that, okay, you'll say, hey, John, it's just one note that's changed. It's the C note, the first note that you put on. Yeah, but doesn't it sound like it makes a big difference? That's why, again, if I'm repeating myself, where and when you play the note, that's what's important. Okay? Something else we can use. How about loud and soft? Okay, dynamics. Here, again, I'll just fool around with A1 or A3, whatever, and you'll hear me pick certain notes out. Some of them I'm going to make louder, some I'm going to make softer. Listen to the effect that has. 2, 3, 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. Remember to get that as swing. 2, 3, and here's A1. Okay, so there was a little example. I punched the notes out a little bit harder, but you hear the difference, and it's these subtle differences that make everything up. Oh, it looks like we got a little interference out there with the electric company, but don't worry about it. That happens from time to time if there's somebody by using a radio. But I'm leaving it in there because it's, did you hear the pattern? Yeah, just messing with you. Okay, something else we could do. All right, silence, space. In other words, ride the rhythm train. An example of this, I'll use A3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play A3, then I'm going to rest for an entire measure. What that means, for those that are not sure, 4 beats, I'm not going to play anything at all. I'm just going to let the backing track play. Listen up. Let's get the count going. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and A1. So you see there, just something simple like that. At the beginning, using the space, whatever, it might be a good idea to play something one measure and then leave, rest for 4 beats. As you get comfortable with it, you can start moving that silence around. And I'm going to give you an example of that right now in doing what we call splitting the pattern. Okay, now what does splitting the pattern mean? A3, we got a good look at that, right? All right, so we see here we have a rest and we have a quarter note. To make it simple, and as I always say, keep it simple. For now, we're just going to cut this lick in half. So what you see is you have a rest for one beat, you have a note for one beat. We're not going to play any of that. We're just going to play beats 3 and 4, or bop, 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 bop. Now listen to what happens when we do that. Well, I'm going to rest 2 beats here, and I'm just going to play the last 2. Listen to what happens. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3. Rest the 2 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2. Subtle difference, but when you're playing, man, it's, you know, it's like the world. It's these little things. And what is it? It's note placement, where and when you're going to place that note. Now with splitting the lick, pardon me, another thing you can do is just using this here that you're using 2 beats, and see if we could grab a hold of this now. We can move those 2 beats any place in the measure. In other words, we can take the bop, 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 move it to the front. Then we have bop, 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 and 2 arrests. Or we can put it in the middle. Rest, bop, 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 rest. Listen to what happens with just a couple of notes. Let's count it out. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. At the beginning. 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. Okay, so we put that at the beginning. Now we're going to rest, and then I'm going to put it in the middle, and then there'll be a rest at the end. Or in other words, no playing on 1, 2, and 3. There's playing and nothing on 4. 2, 3, 4. Listen up. Bump. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 3, 4, 1. And then we could go back to putting it at the end. So what did we do there? All right, we took A3, we cut it in half, and we used part of the lick here, all right, the 3 and the 4, and we actually moved it around. Interesting. Okay, so again, it's note placement. That's what's important. All right, so that's going to be it for video number 2. Now, if there's any questions about this, please, you know, his comments below, just write to me, no problem. All right, enjoy it, have fun with it, take your time with it, and remember, right now, it's where and when we need to be playing those notes. All right, and with Blues Puzzle, you have plenty of stuff that you could use the other licks the way I used A3. You can use whatever licks you want, and if you don't want to play the whole lick, just use part of that. Mix and match. Okay, see what you could come up with. All right, but again, make sure you have your plan on where your note placement's going to be. You might see, you know, hear lick A6 or A14 or something like that and say, hey man, you know, I like that note placement, but let me try those notes in A1 and use it in the A6 placement or the way we did with A1 and A3. All right, listen, thank you very much, and as always, enjoy your day.